hop over to Anderson Cooper. He says, this is a splinter cell of Hamas, or a splinter group, gang. So basically, these are people that are like, Hamas is too mainstream. We're gonna do our own thing. Like we're gonna be the nasty. Hamas is too sweet and cuddly. We'll call them Hamas Plus. Trump says something very interesting. So Hamas, it sounds like they took out some nasty, violent people who are Gazans. Now, would that be the same as a splinter cell? The people who gave the bad remains were a splinter group from Hamas, who are not sophisticated, but they're brutal. Trump said Hamas killed violent gang members, bad people. Sounds to me like it might be one of those, we don't have them, we don't know what happened to the remains, but we know who did it. Why don't we just kill them? Yeah. Well, if you kill them, that sounds good. Welcome to Loaded Talk. I am your congressman, the third most popular candidate to ever be. I am Frank, and along with me, as always...
What's up, Planet Earth? I'm Bean.
Planet Bean. Yeah, I don't know. We're doing stuff. Doing stuff out in the world, Charlie. So we went over last week the peace in the Middle East. So far, it theoretically still exists. Literally every single day since their deal, like Trump went to Jerusalem, made a big speech in which he was like, "Come on, give Netanyahu a pardon." You see that? And so he went from there, flew right to Cairo, I believe, in Egypt for the big summit. All these leaders were there. Everybody was like, "Hooray, we have peace finally. Everything's great." But literally every day. And it's on the Twitters, so, there's lots of propaganda networks at play. Lots of these sim farms, which I really want one of those. I don't know why, ever since I've seen, the pictures of the FBI raids of those, sim farms, I go, God, I want one of those. I wonder how much it costs to build one of those.
Just I guess it would be the cost of the devices, yeah.
Yeah, and then a contract, yeah. But if you got the boost on all of them, you're just buying some minutes here and there, buying some text messages. Maybe, I don't know.
Or you could do a group or corporate contract that would include 100 devices.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's best to not have them all linked to you legally for when you start doing. No one gets it for good reasons,
Well, put it in an enemy's name. That's fine.
Okay. I should get it and just just plug my business. Boy, I love these files. Just start a sim farm, basically. Man, that's a new marketing agency. It's like I sell my wares to hopeful politicians. It's just like, listen, my marketing agency can do a lot of good. I bet that's already happening. If I'm thinking of it now, they're already doing that. There's no way was it Act Blue and Win Red? There's no way these smuggling money laundering operations haven't figured out how to do botnets yet. There's some creepy troll in a building somewhere. Anyway, totally off base. Anyway, so ever since the peace in the Middle East deal, on Twitter every day, one side or the other, it says they broke it. Hamas is breaking it, Israel's breaking it. Hamas is breaking it, Israel's breaking it. So far, it seems like everything's staying on track. They returned the hostages, I believe. At first I heard they've returned all the hostages. And it seems like that's still the case. I'm not sure. I know that the remains are a big one. And this is kind of where I've always had my doubts that this will come to be because, if you're Hamas and, what was it? 2 Octobers ago? Was it 2023? Has it been that long or is it 2024?
No, it's been 2. It's been 2 years, I think. Wait. Yeah, coming out? Yeah. Or just yeah.
So yeah, if 2 years ago, and that's the other thing. They have to pretend like they didn't kill hostages. I mean, we're talking about not prisoners of war. We're talking about hostages. Like, I think it would be foolish to think that they hadn't killed any hostages. But they're not really allowed to say that because 2023, cool. They're not really allowed to say that because that's a bad thing, and so they have to pretend like they all died as natural causes. And they have to give all the remains back. But if 2 years ago you killed somebody, and, I don't know, throw them in the hole over there or throw them in the pile over there, and then since then there's been lots of military action going on, buildings no longer existing, just a couple. I think it's very likely, not to be cold, it's very sad that people's loved ones died and all that kind of stuff, but it's very likely to lose the remains of someone you killed like a year or two ago. Let's hop over to Anderson Cooper. Why bury the lead? Let's just get right on it. Anderson Cooper 360, which did not know was still on TV, but it is, because CNN apparently is still a channel, and they do stuff. Even get back over there. Even when you're not at the airport, they're still broadcasting. Yeah, I didn't know. There we go.
There's breaking news tonight. Israel now reports that of the 4 sets of remains handed over by Hamas today, 3 have been positively identified, including that of 4-year-old Ariel and 9-month-old Kafir Bibas. In a stunning development, however, 1 set of remains, initially believed to be that of the boy's mother, Cherie, was not hers, nor that of any other Israeli hostage. The IDF also says...
Okay, so that first part, you go, those aren't her remains. I go, okay. Nor any other Israeli hostage. You go... you have... Do you have genetic information for every Israeli? I don't know if that's a thing. Is that a thing? I know some of these places are bigger governments and all that, but...
I have no idea.
Yeah, how you just... because especially,
I'm surprised if they don't.
Come on. Yeah, you got a point. Well, that's what I'm saying. It might be something we go, no, we all joined the IDF for a couple of years and give them our blood and all that. I don't know. But it's remains, And so I guess skeletal remains at this point, depending on how long it's been. And I guess you test the bone and you go, that's an Arab? I don't know.
They're not even saying how the remains were provided.
There's a little bit of something a little bit later. Yeah.
That forensic evidence and intelligence suggest the boys were murdered. I want to get some perspective now from Adam Bowler, the United States envoy for hostage affairs. Mr. Bowler, I appreciate you being with us. Did Hamas just lie about this? Wouldn't be a surprise. They've lied about lots of things. What? How did this happen?
It's stunning. I don't know what they thought when they put the body of somebody else in a coffin and said that it was the mother of 2 kids that have been brutally murdered, whether they thought Israel wouldn't find that or not, but it's absolutely stunning.
According to Israel, there's also evidence that the children were murdered. Hamas had earlier, months ago, made a statement that they had been killed in an Israeli airstrike. Do you know anything more about what Israel has found out?
The Israelis called us. They called me. They called Steve Witkoff, Secretary of State, Mike Waltz, just before these news reports came out, just before they released it. And they said that forensic evidence definitively proved that those 2 kids, those 2 boys, were brutally murdered in November. So a month after they were taken. And they said that forensic evidence confirmed that.
How could you prove November
if
timeline?
The Israeli assessment is accurate and Cherie Bibas's body was not handed over, would U.S. and Israeli officials view that as a violation of the ceasefire deal? Because, would that be a violation? Besides being
it's a
horrific, just a horrific act.
Like you said, Anderson, it's horrific. It's a clear violation. And if I have one piece of advice for Hamas now, it's not only do you need to release her body immediately, but we have the bodies of 4 Americans that are still there, and we have 1 American, Don Alexander. I think you know his family well.
Anderson Cooper has such blue blood that is skin is almost see-through. Like, that is like high-class breeding right there. Almost translucent skin. Sorry, it's hard to look away.
Yeah.
And you've done a great job reporting on it. He needs to come home. And if I were them, I'd release everybody, or they're going to face total annihilation right now.
What options do the Israelis have at this point to find Shri Bibas?
I think right now they need to demand through every country that's coordinating, and they need to go out. And the question here, and this is the question I've asked myself, why would they do this? And I think probably the answer is she was so brutally murdered that she's being hidden, or the body has been disposed of, and they probably cannot give her back.
I mean, do you think did they think that the Israelis would not do testing on the remains? I mean, I don't understand the thought process
ridiculous.
Here.
It's completely ridiculous. And the reality here is, this is the truth. Right now, with Hamas, you have very few people left. And by the way, Anderson, this was actually a particularly militant splinter group off of Hamas. And so these are particularly difficult. You're talking about the worst of the worst here when you're talking about worse than Hamas. But, these are people that can brutally murder a 9-month-old, younger when the kid was murdered, and somebody that would be 4. And so I wouldn't say they're sophisticated people. They're brutal murderers. And they didn't think through it, quite frankly, I'm sure, or didn't know what to do.
Okay. I think that's pretty much it. So, a couple things on that, right? So, first off, these remains come back, and, it's horrible, of course, that these adorable little children, this baby, and all these people, it's horrible that these people are dead. Without question, that's horrible. I do wonder, because I know forensics is really good, and we can carbon date, we can do all this kind of stuff. But 23 months ago, you're saying it's definitive that the remains that exist as of now, and they've not been stored, they didn't get pumped full of formaldehyde. It's not like they've been put in a cooler, I doubt. Like, they've probably just been...
Yeah, did Hamas prioritize storage?
And we all know the answer to that. Of course not. Like, especially, there's no power in Gaza. It's like, there's no power, but we're going to go out of our way to bring in some dry ice, make sure we really respect the remains of these people that we, stole and assaulted. I didn't say the word. There you go, Chance. He gets so mad at me. But anyway, so it's some desert-like conditions sometimes out there. So I don't know. Like, okay, I'm willing to, let's concede the point that they killed the kids because they're like, these babies won't shut up. I have a headache. Just kill them. Okay, I believe you. And you go, they shot him in the head. Okay, I believe you. Or they hit him in the head with a hammer. Okay, I believe you, I guess. But 23 months later, like, how could it be that much noticeable? Because I imagine the brutality of the murder has to do with the condition the skeleton is in. Probably holes, probably broken bones. And maybe that's it. Maybe you can tell a break that happened live versus dead or something. I don't know. Maybe the way does it calcify after? I mean, you're dead. I don't know. It's just one of those things you go, all right, so they kill this kid, right? Or the kid starves to death. Whatever happens, right? They go, throw him over in the pile. Who cares? Maybe they are brutal. They throw rocks at the pile of corpses because they think it's funny or whatever. There's some bombing that happens. Piece of building maybe falls in the pile from time to time. It's just, how can you tell? And this is just my ignorance, but like, how much can you tell 23 months later whether the trauma to the body was done to a living or dead? Because it's one thing when you go, there's no blood whatever, like these stab wounds don't have there's no blood in the lungs, there's no water in the lungs, they clearly did, but I'm guessing there's no organs left, just to be blunt about it. So I don't know, like, how can you tell that?
Gotta be, especially since most likely, like we're talking about the storage, if any sort of wild animals got to it, like and
maybe they knew they needed to like keep the remains pretty much, because they were like, we'll probably need to give these back at some point, just being realistic. You're about to you just basically picked a fight with one of the top militaries along with their homies in America. Like, they're coming. That's kind of why people keep getting mad at us, because of our support for Israel. At least that's what they say out loud. And so, maybe you think like, I'll probably need those at some point. So maybe you keep them inside. Maybe, it's a whatever, some room. You just throw them in this corpse room or whatever to keep the animals away. But even then, I don't know. So starting with that, I do not think it'd be. I don't think it's unbelievable that Hamas killed hostages. I think it's very believable. I just wonder about when they get into like, they were brutally murdered, and like, using these terms to like, stir it, evoke a lot of emotional response. It's just, I just wonder really how well you can tell that. And where'd they get the coffins too? Do they make coffins? Like, why do they have these coffins? And maybe they threw them in the coffin to begin with. I don't know. Maybe the coffins where they've been storing the bodies anyway. But you'd think they would just pile a couple in, just saying.
I mean, they're making rockets out of PVC pipe.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are they making? Anyway, it doesn't matter on that. But so that one. So right away I go, I feel like I'm trying to get pushed in a direction. These monsters did it again. Take the brakes off. Let's go steamroll in there, Then he gets to another part. He says, this is a splinter cell of Hamas, or a splinter group, gang. So basically, these are people that are like, Hamas is too mainstream. We're going to do our own thing, and we're going to show you how it's done. Like, we're going to be the nasty. Hamas is too sweet and cuddly. We're going to be the nasty group. And they go, oh, okay. And so you go, so that wasn't Hamas then? Well, Hamas ally. I go, okay. But was it or was it not Hamas? Because it sounds like what you're telling me is it's not Hamas. And it sounds like what you're telling me is they are fairly backwards and brutal. They didn't even consider genetic testing on any bodies, is what you're kind of putting forth. You go, they're just not sophisticated people. They probably didn't even think about it. They were just like, put a body in the coffin, it's fine. So then you go, so the bodies definitely weren't stored well. We're not thinking about things like this. I don't know. It just, once again, it's one of these things you go, well, that sounds like a reason not to cancel the peace deal if we're saying it's a brutal splinter group spun off of Hamas. Right?
Oh, yeah. And he backed it up by saying you need to release her actual body now or else. But if it's not Hamas, like you said, it doesn't violate.
How could Hamas do that if Hamas doesn't have that person? And yeah, if this other group, we'll call them Hamas Plus. People like the plus.
They identify as
Hamas Plus. But yeah, if Hamas Plus was doing some of this stuff, you go, well, do we not differentiate because there's another clip. Maybe we'll do this just now. Yeah, we'll jump into it because Trump says something very interesting that it's on the same topic, but he says some interesting things here that kind of go along with that. Did you see him talking about not going on the beach?
Yeah.
My legs are a little bigger. Arms are a little bigger. My body's a little bigger. No one wants to see it. I'm not going on the beach. It's like, hey, when you write, you write.
Mr. President, on Gaza, how long will it take Hamas to disarm, and can you guarantee that is going to happen?
Well, they're going to disarm, and because they said they were going to disarm. And if they don't disarm, we will disarm them.
How will you do that?
I don't have to explain that to you. But if they don't disarm, we will disarm them. They know I'm not playing games. Okay? Now, we did something monumental. We got the hostages back. That was the first thing we had to do. Above all else, get the hostages back. Now, they misrepresented because we were told they had 26, 24 of dead hostages, if we can use those terms. And it seems as though they don't have that because we're talking about a much lesser number. But that's a very tough subject. I want them back. That's what they said. I want them back. Also, they said they were going to disarm. And initially speaking, they needed, they did take out a couple of gangs that were very bad, very, very bad gangs, and they did take them out, and they killed a number of gang members. And that didn't bother me much, to be honest with you. That's okay. We had a couple of very bad gangs. It's no different than other countries. Like Venezuela sent their gangs into us, and we took care of those gangs. We have Washington, D.C., is one of the safest cities in the country. It was one of the worst cities in the country if you go back just a little while ago, right? Now it's safe. You can walk to work. Isn't it nice?
Middle East.
But we have told them we want to disarm, and they will disarm. And if they don't disarm, we will disarm them. And it'll happen quickly and perhaps violently. But they will disarm. Do you understand me?
Yes. You say
because everyone says, oh, well, they won't disarm. They will disarm. And I spoke to Hamas, and I said, you're going to disarm, right? Yes, sir, we're going to disarm. That's what they told me. They will disarm, or we will disarm them. Got it? Okay,
What
next.
is the deadline for
Yeah, so loud. The gaggle of press. Nice flowers, though. Little Gerber daisies. All right, so what are you saying there? He said he's been talking with Hamas, and they took out Hamas.
He said he called them.
Yeah, he said, "Hey, Hamas." They said, "What up, Donnie?" I said, "Just me, playa." No, but he said that they took out some gangs, some very nasty gangs, some very nasty people, and some very nasty gangs, and he's not sad about it. So Hamas, what it sounds like is as part of a good faith showing, and the diehard Israel fans, just take a breath. I'm not saying Hamas is a good faith actor or an honest broker. I'm just using negotiation terms. But in a good faith show, it sounds like they took out some nasty, violent people who are Gazans. Now, would that be the same as a splinter cell? Think about the last guy said that the people who gave the bad remains were a splinter group from Hamas who are not sophisticated, but they're brutal. He said brutal, unsophisticated splinter group. Trump said Hamas killed violent gang members, bad people, yada yada.
So Hamas took their own factions out.
That these splinter groups that could be their own factions is what it sounds like. Did it not sound like that to you?
No, yeah. But now I'm wondering what Hamas really is.
You've already gone to CIA, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
But yeah, so like, say you're about to pull off. Okay, we're gonna be Hamas. That's legit. No, I'm just, So I just had to get in the carrier. But all right, so you're planning this big attack. We have people flying on lawn chairs attached to ceiling fans. We're gonna just do this thing, take out all the sophisticated attack, probably with Iran's help, and yeah, and so you go, well, we need this to be done, and we need some crazy people, right? You need some crazy frontline people. You don't need scholars who will go like, look, I'm gonna write you a nice essay on why you can't trust the Jews. You don't need just Joe Schmo citizens that say, hey, we've got a bad rap here in Gaza, and we really think that our conditions should improve, and we don't trust the Israeli government to improve it. You don't need those guys. You need crazy people. You need violent, crazy people. So maybe you go to a couple of these gangs. I don't know their names, but Hamas Plus. You go, look, my plus posse. Yeah, here's the plan. You in? They go, we're in. And they go, all right, well, just, it's all about pain. They go, yeah. So they go in, and you basically send in the Vikings or whatever. You send in the horde, and they go in, and they blop and pillage, and they kill, they take, they do all the things that they do. So people, they pull back. IDF eventually shows up. It takes them a couple hours to make it 20 minutes.
Thank you.
Yeah. They walked, I think.
Stroll, like a little stroll.
Like a saunter. Like a saunter. I think they said, can you just believe how beautiful the Jordan River is this time of year? They go, God, it really is. They just maybe gaze into each other's eyes a little bit. And then someone goes, oh, hey, I think there's a brutal attack going on. They go, whoa, we got to get moving. So anyway, they eventually show up. And that's when, the Hamas and Hamas Plus withdraw with their hostages. Now, theoretically, if this is the case, if you are Hamas and you have employed Hamas Plus to help with this violent, brutal raid, sounds like there's more than one. There's a Hamas Plus, divided, multiply, whatever. So there's a few Hamas Plus independent groups. And so everyone comes back. You got your hostages. Well, the pluses, they probably got some too. You have tight control over your hostages. And these are probably the ones that they kind of worked into prominent families. Like they had different families around town that had like hidden rooms or whatever that were stashing some of these people. That's probably Hamas. Hamas Plus is probably more of the, just lock you in a dark hole type of guy. And maybe worse. Probably worse. I mean, even the actual Hamas hostages, probably worse than just somebody's house. But yeah, so now it's time for peace. And you go, listen. We don't have all of the people. There are some nasty gangs around here, and they have some of the people. We will talk to them, and we will get the remains. And so you go, okay. And they go, here you go. And, as Hamas, you go, you would give them the bodies, or your body would be next. And they go, okay. And so, anyway, this whole thing, just give them anything. Give them anything. They give them a body. So at some point along the line, these splinter groups that are brutal and violent, sounds like Hamas went and took them all out. It sounds to me, and don't want to give them too much credit here, because they are, they are a nasty lot. But it sounds to me like it might be one of those, we don't have them, we don't know what happened to the remains, but we know who did it. Why don't we just kill them? We'll kill them. Yeah. Well, if you kill them, that sounds good.
Deal's still on.
Yeah, it's like, okay, yeah, you kill them. Like if you're serious as them, and you say you'll kill them for it, because the peace means that much, you're like, prove it. Then they go, and now they're all DED, And so you go, I don't know. I feel like it seems like things are in motion to still be on the same side.
Very plausible. I mean, I hope that's the case.
I mean, I hope, yeah. I can be a bit of an optimist. But just the fact that two very separate things we're talking about, these groups that we didn't even know existed, that Hamas had groups that splintered off from it, you know? We just kind of thought it was a cohesive unit.
We did.
We all did. Except
But,
for,
you know, a certain intelligence agency may have had more info.
I would hope that they all did. I would hope that they would. Well, of course they're not going to tell us. But, and, yeah, we might have people in some of these groups. But yeah, I don't know. So it bothers me. I can't remember if I said this on the show or not, but this returning of remains has always been that potential thing where you go, sorry, we said 100%. That's 99%. Start the missiles, you know? So I'm getting nervous that we're getting to that point. Even a little Trump truth here. And I'll just pop to it real quick. This was from today at 1:30 p.m. If Hamas continues to kill people in Gaza, which was not the deal, we will have no choice but to go in and kill them. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I love that, how he signs everything. It's ridiculous and it's hilarious, and I don't know why, but like I've said in the past, I've started ending my texts, sometimes group texts. Thank you for your attention to this matter. All right. So yeah, so my Hamas is still killing people outside the gangs. You go, okay. Then you see reports, IDF is still killing people. You go, well, that wasn't the deal either. So maybe we could all just stop killing each other and let's call it a day. Come on, just keep moving this thing forward. But yeah, so that's... Do I have anything else on that? Yeah, so that's where I'm getting nervous on this whole thing, you know? What are you thinking?
I'm just tired of paying for the Iron Dome.
Now, I'm told... Well, I've been told that they buy their Iron Dome missiles from the U.S., and it's like, so instead of us paying for it, we're brokering a sale or something, or they pay the defense contractors or something.
Raytheon?
Yeah, like Raytheon and those cats. Like, they pay them. So it's really a boon to the U.S. economy. But I know we probably subsidize all sorts of stuff. Because they always get... By they, I mean the government, not any group of people other than the government. But the government always gets real... Yeah. They go, oh, don't worry, they're buying the missiles. It's like, did you give them aid money to buy the missiles? They go, yes. You know, oh. So we bought the missiles. Why didn't we just send the missiles to them? We can't provide other countries with weapons. It's like, we just gave them the money to buy weapons? Yes.
And facilitated the deal.
Yeah. We just been there every step of the way, but the money went to them first, not to them first. So it's...
Classic deal, you know? No actual handoff.
That's right. That's right. Just you got the miner on the bicycle dropping the rocks in your car, bringing the cash back to the main man. Yeah, there's that graphic that's like a picture of the Iron Dome shooting missiles as they come in. It goes like, my tax dollars, somehow also my tax dollars. And it's like, yeah, that's how it feels. So anyway, so the peace deal is still technically on. It seems that we are getting away from it. It seems that I think it's very fragile, and that I'm worried that it will soon break. It does seem like Israel is pushing for it to break. Surprise, surprise. And, that's the challenge, or one of the problems too. Is like, okay, now we know about these splinter groups, and I guess a lot of them have been killed by Hamas. Do they kill all of them? Are there still splinter groups? If one of those butt heads, if one of the gangs that Hamas is trying to kill that looks exactly like Hamas, shoots at an IDF soldier, do they just go, or just some random dude in Gaza who's mad about losing his home and his family and things like that, and he goes, I'm taking one out. If he shoots and kills an IDF soldier, is it just, here comes the rain?
That's what it sounds like.
It feels like that. It feels like Israel, and anytime it's appropriate, it seems we were able to go, that was an oopsie. Like that was an oopsie. Whether it's us or, Ukraine when they accidentally bombed Poland. And it was like, oh, Russia struck Poland. It's like, oh, no. And we go, you did it, Ukraine. They go, that was an oopsie. Okay. Just an oopsie. But I don't think you can get an oopsie if you live in Gaza. I think if any of your neighbors do anything right now, it turns the whole smashing machine back on, And so one thing I noticed this coming out a little bit thanks to funny man John Cleese from Monty Python, of course. If you've never watched was it The Secret of Life, especially the scene in the restaurant with the dinner wayfare, it is worth looking up right now. But he reposted this thing that was posted by, I don't know, it looks like it was supposed to be like anonymous, like the hacking group Anonymous, or the the loose, unaffiliated group of hackers, Anonymous. But there seems to be a push right now from Biden-aligned people, or maybe just anti-Trump people, to say that that this deal was already offered, and Israel said no, they're not going to agree to the deal because they want to let Donald Trump have the win. And so this anonymous group, which John Cleese reposted, they took a screenshot of this article, which didn't say anything about holding it for Trump or whatever. And so I just Googled the headline, found the page, the Times, I guess Times of Israel or whatever it is. And, same photo, same word for word, everything. Well, the paragraph immediately below the one that made it into the image that they cropped said that basically the Biden administration ignored, like they didn't care about it, and Netanyahu rejected it, and they were just like, So it was like it wasn't that Biden accepted it and Hamas accepted it, and Netanyahu was like, oh, not till Trump comes in. It, like the article says Biden was just like, whatever. This was after he was already not running for re-election. So he's just like, okay, just whatever you want to do. And Netanyahu's like, I'm not doing that. Who cares? And then the whole article goes on how to say that basically a lot of these aspects were part of an agreement pitched, I think, by Qatar during the end of the Biden years. Netanyahu didn't like it, and so it kind of died on the vine, and that Trump has basically been pulling this over the finish line kind of against Netanyahu's wishes, to the point that he said that as Trump was negotiating, I think with Qatar, or Qatar, whatever you said, however you pronounce it, that he was with these Arab leaders, and he went to make a call to Netanyahu, and he was like, so he's telling him that the deal's almost done, and he goes, oh, you're always so negative. I guess he said that to Netanyahu. Netanyahu was like, I don't know, I don't believe him, this will never happen, blah, 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 just whatever, just poo-pooing the deal, trying not to do the deal. And Charlie, why wouldn't you want peace between the people of Gaza and Israel? If you were Netanyahu, why wouldn't you want peace?
Well, so you can keep doing what you're doing, your strategy.
Yeah, is there any other reason you can think of? Peace is good.
I mean, yeah, peace is good, but if it deters you from your goal...
And what goal do you think that is?
Expansion?
Yep, through ethnic cleansing, perhaps? So yeah, because that's the only thing you go, like, he's just, no, I don't want this deal. You go, why wouldn't you want the deal where they disarm? They might even move out of the country. You know, Hamas has to either like say, hey, sorry, here are my weapons, I give up, I'm just going to live in peace, or they have to move to a different country. That's like in the 20-point plan. It's like, why wouldn't you want that? Well, they'll never do it. You go, okay, right. But assuming that they do, why would you not want to give it a shot right now? And the only reason is to keep the war going. And the only reason to keep the war going is, make it uninhabitable. So that then you can expand to the sea.
Yeah, I think he's looking at it as, I finally got our goal to this point. If I stop now, it was all for nothing.
Right. Like, we're very, very close to being able to, like, accomplish the cleanse. And yeah, if at this point, especially going, well, the Arab leaders will come in, help rebuild, and all this, even though I'm allies with those Arab leaders, they're probably not going to just let me have it. And then, of course, and your settlers and all that. Apparently, on Rogan, there's this guy who was like a CIA whistleblower about the torture program after 9/11. And he went to prison for a couple of years. And he's the only guy to go to prison over it. And he was in opposition of torturing. But he was talking about the problem with the settlers. He said that, like, New York, New Jersey, I think he made it say New York, New Jersey, has a big, it's like a real estate kind of deal where like people, like, so like Jewish, it's an organization that talks to like Jewish people about basically real estate investments in Israel. And so you go, okay. And so they go, hey, something's about to pop up. So basically some nasty people go through, clear out the neighborhood, and they go, hey, look at all these homes that are available. You can get in dirt cheap. And people go, oh. So you buy a nice piece of real estate for a hefty discount, and you show up just going like, well, it's nice here. But the way you got it so cheap is it's supposed to be, supposed to be a Palestinian area, and it actually was Palestinian homes where families were living. They were driving to work just like everybody else and just living their life. And then they just go, you get out or we'll kill you. Or maybe they do just kill them. And so when you show up, you go, this is nice. They go, yes, it is. And then just nibble a little bit further. Like, this is still Israel. But he had a lot of interesting stuff to say. I forget his name, but I do. Don't stop listening to us, of course. But, I do. It's a good listen. It's a good listen. He had good insight, especially about the former head of the CIA under Obama and Biden. I guess he was just sort of what was his name? John Brennan. I guess he was just kind of a unimpressive meathead. And so I guess in the CIA, when you get fired, you don't get fired. You get like 6 weeks to walk around and find another job within the CIA. And if you can't find a job within the CIA, then I guess you get fired or something, or they put you in some filing room or whatever. But he got fired, and so the only job he could find was doing White House briefs to the lowest man on the totem pole that got a CIA brief, and that was I forget, another one of these big name people. So like, so it was the Obama White House. So this dude starts getting promoted. So suddenly Brennan goes from being basically outcast to he just him and just blanking on his name, but they go have cigars and talk girls and stuff like that. And so as that dude's stock went up, Brennan's stock goes up. Next thing you know, he's running the CIA. He fires the person that fired him, and she ended up retiring instead. But yeah, he got there just through positioning and luck, and nothing about his skill or intellect. And so then it was just sort of retaliation and all that. Anyway, I'm getting off track just to say that they're all pieces of garbage. But yeah, so so there's the settler program. So that's the other part. You're trying to get all these things done. You're trying to clear it out, and then rebuild, bring in people, fill it up. So that's the only reason you wouldn't want peace is to just keep it going, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't know, but it is interesting watching the spin. The Biden already worked. This was basically Biden's deal. Okay, I'm willing to concede that Biden, maybe not Biden, but I'm willing to concede that Qatar and whoever in DC had a very similar to this 20-point plan, something very comparable, maybe identical. Okay, it doesn't matter if Israel doesn't sign on. Trump didn't say, I'm going to formulate the best plan ever done. He said, I'm going to get a deal done. I'll get a deal done for peace. And so far, that is what he's done. Regardless of who wrote the 20-point, because it's not like Trump was sitting there writing a 20-point plan. They're talking to Arab leaders who are talking with Hamas people, and they're going, all right, what about this? How would this work? Would this be agreeable? No. Okay, what if it was instead of, say, Israel being in charge of rebuilding, Israel and America, what if it was like us? What if it was some of these Arab nations? Like, yeah, okay. We could do some Arab nations. Like, okay, that's good, So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how much traction this rewrite gets. But if you're buying it, you are a fool.
Yeah, and I wonder what happens. I mean, if it sticks, like what does BB do next?
Well, that is the question, because apparently the charges aren't. This is another thing that guy was saying on Rogan, is that the criminal charges against him aren't that solid. He's like, I don't know why he doesn't just fight it, but he's been using war. He goes, well, I can't possibly, because you can, as a prime minister, you can be held on charges and have to have a defense and all that. But during wartime, he's like, I've got so much important stuff to do with this war, I can't focus on a defense. And they go, well, that's a good point. We won't do it. So, after this, he'll have to go to trial. But I don't know the charges, but this guy was saying, and he was no fan of Netanyahu. He's like, the charges, he's like, they're nothing that crazy. He's like, he should just fight him. He'll probably win. So I don't know if he's concerned that so many people in Israel hate him and they're waiting to take him out for anything, that it doesn't matter how bad the case is, that he's going down. It's possible. But if you're Netanyahu and they're hitting you up with felonies or whatever about like corruption and bribery or whatever, why wouldn't you just go somewhere else? I mean, he's former Mossad, isn't he? Or former intelligence of some, like, telling me you don't have an offshore account somewhere? Tell me you don't have a house somewhere? You don't have a go bag and a plan B? I mean, come on. Of course, he has to. He has to. And it might even be a little wink, little United States. I won't be living in the United States. I'll be in Puerto Rico. And you have a nice little chunk of island paradise. Maybe go to Boca and just say, I do look like him. Isn't that funny?
Say that as his people.
I get that all the time. You sound like him too. I know, it's crazy. Anyway, my name's Bert Netanyahu. But yeah, anyways, that's the thing. Like I've never, ever since the stories of the potential charges have been popping up, I just go, there's no way Netanyahu in Israel goes to prison. That dude's got more political pull than any human on the planet, especially in Israel.
Well, yeah, we're just talking about the recent charges. Like, imagine if we go all the way back to the 90s and we just add all that up.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot.
Don't people think that he was complicit in the assassination of one of the other prime ministers?
I do.
Which, what was that dude's name?
Yitzhak Rabin.
Yeah.
He was basically like the JFK for Israel at the time. He was working on a peace deal.
It
didn't happen.
That's right, and that's why people thought that, because Netanyahu was a vocal critic of his, saying that he was turning on his own people in order to get this peace thing done. Yeah, that's right. I mean,
And here we are.
Here we are. Speaking of JFK, did you see that we got a bunch of files from Soviet era Russia?
Yeah, and they gave him to old Luna.
Yep, old Looney Tooney. So she put them out on Substack, which I don't know why. I mean, I guess maybe you don't put it on a government server because there's probably viruses in there. Now that I'm saying it out loud, that's probably why you don't upload, unless they scanned them. Anyway, I don't know. But she put it on her Substack. Maybe it's got ad revenue. I don't know. Definitely will get subscribers for your media career. I'm terrified she's going to be Nancy Pelosi. I know she wants to be Megyn Kelly, but she ain't going to be Megyn Kelly. But I have, if she doesn't get those sorts of offers, and media, the TV world is not kind to women as years go by. It is, pretty stereotypically unkind about graceful aging. Not that Luna's attempting that, but yeah. So as that strikes out, I just wonder if it's like, well, why don't I just stay here for life and just be 80, plastic face, plastic everything? Or for Pelosi, she's doing pretty well. Just
Greatest day trader ever.
I mean, she's basically a wizard of Wall Street. Did you see her getting asked about January 6th? Like, why didn't you call in the National Guard? She's like,
Trump didn't call in National Guard. Just, why are you asking me Republican talking points? Shut up.
you go, damn, Nancy. I'm like, you're just losing your cool on that one. Yeah, these people are falling apart. The midterm election odds, the Republicans like losing everything, or I guess Democrats taking control in the midterms. No, I take it back. Republicans holding on through the midterms went from odds of like, it was 17% chance. Now it's up to like 37%. It's jumped 20 points in the last like week or so. I think the peace deal has a lot to do with it, but also all these nutty, the governor's race, or I guess lieutenant governor in Virginia, where that guy was like, yeah, kill the children. They got to feel pain. You got that crazy woman running for governor in California. And so I think these people are just, I don't know, they're imploding. I don't know what they're doing. I saw a clip of Cory Booker. I don't know if he's running for re-election or not, but this woman who has a podcast, something, I don't know. But she asked, do you think Netanyahu committed war crimes? And he goes, well, thing is, there's so much been going on. What we really want to focus on is enduring peace and just making sure that, there's enduring peace and blah, 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 just sort of nothing, right? And to her credit, once again, I think she's just an independent podcast, but I think she probably is on the left end of the spectrum there. But she said, she's like, I think that this is one reason that some of these younger politicians like Mamdani are so popular. You go to Mamdani, you go, has Netanyahu committed war crimes? And he says, yes. It's a one-word answer. And you go, well, now I know your thoughts on that, and you agree or disagree, but you know for a fact that he believes, yes. It's like, where you just said all these words and you said nothing. And then he went back to, well, blah, 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 blah. And then he does the old ask the question you want to answer. It's like, do I think Netanyahu's worse than Trump? Yes, absolutely I do. Yeah, okay, well, that wasn't the question. But no, so you got people on the left, I think, are getting, you have a vocal energy that is tired of the middling kind of do nothing Democrats where you just, slowly make the bureaucracy bigger, just try to get some spending bills in there. You don't get too bold. Like, Obamacare was a big one. They go, okay, we can take a breath for a few years, Like maybe plant a seed that'll grow into something horrible in 10 years. But, just a little at a time. Progressive. And I think this group is tired of that. They go, no, we want action. We want, we want to fight back against the system, rage against the machine. So that's kind of action we want. And they're not getting it out of most people. And then some of the people they're getting it out of are just saying the wrong things about, murdering innocents. So yeah, not going well for the Democrats. All right. Let's see. Okay. What will we do? Okay. Well, of course, one of the big issues is the government shutdown. We're still shut down, Charlie. How have you been surviving?
I've been okay. Doing okay.
Yeah, I guess me too. I had to call the IRS in order to set up a payment plan for my taxes. I couldn't do it online because they hadn't gotten my my balance owed onto my account yet. So I called and got a call back an hour later, and he was like, "Well, just wait till that posts, and then you can set it up anytime after that." I was like, I don't trust the IRS. I was like, I don't want to be seen as dodging my taxes, and I don't want to get some nasty letter in a couple months saying I did something wrong and I'm about to go to court. He goes, no, that wouldn't happen. I'm like, okay, sounds good.
Are we living in the same country, buddy?
Yeah. So, they haven't gotten all of our balances updated in the old tax world. So that was a thing. I did have to make a phone call and talk to a human. Not great. But Trump's been, shuffling some ideas. They said they found a bit of a surplus, the military budget, and they're using that to pay soldiers or pay the military. I don't know if that's just active duty or if that's retired too. I can't imagine they got that much extra money laying around, but that was one of their big things, was getting them paid, because it was like yesterday was a paycheck for them. The 15th was like a big thing. We'll figure it out. All right, we got them paid. And now I think they've got a bill in the House right now just to basically to pay veterans and stuff. And of course, that's another thing where Democrats are like, well, it depends what you add to it. They go, just nothing, just pay them. They go, we should add something. So it's probably not going to pass. But Trump has been saying, he also said that some rich donors want to give a bunch of money.
That's what I was wondering if you were going to get to that, because I read something about that and I wasn't sure. He didn't mention who, he just said some friend of his.
He just said some very rich people, and I don't know if that's even, I guess it's legal. I mean, you can give your money to the government. And I mean, we do sell bonds, which is like taking loans out from people. So I guess if we issued somebody like $1 billion in bonds,
no one, they're leaving with something.
Yeah, you don't just hey, I'll pay. I mean, you get the good press, and maybe if you got multiple billions of dollars, and you go, it'll be all right. They go, we'll get you a nice contract. Maybe it's a SpaceX contractor, military. I mean, there's lots of tech billionaires in the orbit right now. So maybe they've already made that money back. But the other thing he's been talking about, what we discussed previous episode, is laying people off, firing people, and getting rid of programs, which I 100% support. Well, some government unions have sued about this, and so for now, a judge who was a Clinton appointee has issued an injunction saying that he can't, the layoffs. So he can't do any more layoffs right now until they hear the merits of this case. So there's a temporary injunction against laying off these people in any of these programs, because the judge says, it looks like it might be more political in motivation, and that they seem to, like fire aim ready, so now let's pause that. I don't see, out of everything that we can complain about with an overreaching government, too powerful of an executive branch, which we do have, the one thing I would expect the President of the United States of America to be able to do is fire people who work for the executive branch. I don't know how this union crud got in there, and I think Ramaswamy was right that you need to sue to get this stuff out of there. Like, get this challenge up to the Supreme Court. It's unfortunate that they just went with the Elon way for Doge, because like those lawsuits were something that I was kind of excited to see because it sounded like a good plan. Maybe he'll do it when he's governor of Ohio. I don't know, but it's but these union protections where you go, you can't fire somebody for cause or for just layoff. You can't do layoffs even. Like, every company, you might not be able to fire. You got to show cause. And there's all this employment law. But if you eliminate a position in any job, you go, that position's just gone now. That typically has no negative ramifications because you go, we need to eliminate that department. We need to eliminate that position. And so you go. So you would think that the leader of the free world could fire people that work for him. And you go, maybe it's a funding thing. Well, Congress approved this spending. It's like, okay, Congress approved the spending for the department of whatever the hell. They didn't go, and we vote that Tina stays in HR. It's just, that was not a thing. It drives me nuts. Like, it's only this year with Trump, because especially with Doge, where they plan to come in and just womp and whoop. But it's amazing. It's amazing that the president cannot fire some middle manager. How is that? Like, how do you outrank the president of the United States?
The ship just has to go down. You can't you can't plug the hole.
No. Tip it over. All right. Well, we'll wrap on that. Knock out a couple groks. Remember to follow us on the Twitters and the Instagrams and the Rumbles and the YouTubes and wherever you get your podcasts. Spotify is a good one because we put our videos on there too. Like them. Refer your friends. Do the little notification thing. Do all that kind of stuff. It helps. It has been helping. We're finally, I think, legitimately out of YouTube jail. Like, for real. Which is nice. So, yeah, do help us do that. Tell your friends. People love us. People love me. They're about Charlie. I think because he's Jewish. No, just kidding. Awkward. Just turn around, fire the laser. All right, what do you got?
So, the grok fact for the day. Did you know that on October 16th, 1923... brothers Walt and Roy Disney founded the Disney Brothers Cartoon Studio in Los Angeles, which later became the Walt Disney Company.
Well, I'll be dipped. And Walt's got ties to Kansas City, and of course down here in Florida. That's and a little bit of ties to Nazis, but that's oopsie. It's just a little oopsie. It is crazy that, like, those old pictures, like Madison Square Garden with, like, the trains going on with the swastikas and stuff. You go, wow, people really... Imagine how... That's a silly way to say it, but imagine how embarrassing that would be during the debates. Well, like, just in America, not, like, where it matters, like, before World War II and all that. I don't know. Fascism's definitely the way to go. Like, that's... Trains are running on time. Like, they're tough on stuff. Look how Germany's turned around. Like, Hitler's great. Like, look at that cool emblem. That's great. And then I think, those commies, like, boo, commies. And then all of a sudden, like, fast forward 10 years later, you go, well, color me embarrassed. Because there was people that were like, nah, this is the right way. And then next thing you know, they go, well, gonna go fight those Nazis now. All right, we're out of here.